Good morning, Ursuline Academy, and welcome back to another edition of UA Today. I'm Chloe Weber, here with
Olivia Tallow,
to bring you today's news. Today you'll hear about some cute penguins, Phyllis Wheatley, the founder of Pac-Man, Donald Trump's executive order, and the possible Supreme Court judge. Let's jump right in.
Now, as most of you can agree, old people are adorable. But if you didn't think that already, you sure will after this story. In 2014, after an oil spill near Phillip Island, 32,000 little penguins, Australia's oldest man, started knitting these tiny penguin sweaters to protect their feathers from the oil. Alfred Date, or as some call him, Alfie, retired from his job, later went to a retirement home where he soon learned that he was able to knit. After learning about this new ability he had, two nurses came up to him and persuaded him to knit for the Knit for Nature program. This is where he found out that he could use his gifts to help the penguins who are suffering from the oil spill. Being in the water with the oil, the penguins will accidentally consume the oil. The substance also can mat down their feathers, which can keep them from not only regulating its temperature, but also reduces the animal's buoyancy in the water. 483 little penguins ended up in the rehab center, where Aldi knitted them little sweaters. He helped return 96% of them back to their homes with his gift of knitting. I don't know about you, but talking about penguins is making me think about the cold weather we have. Chloe, would you mind telling us about the weather today?
Not at all. Today's weather will be a high of 52 and a low of 37. There will also be some scattered thunderstorms here and there, although the percentages of these thunderstorms have been very low today. So let's hope for clear skies and a warm sun.
If you haven't heard yet, today is Very Yummy National Day. We're about to tell you about it.
Man, there are a lot of things I love, but froyo has to be one of my favorites. Today is International Frozen Yogurt Day. Some of you may not know the benefits of frozen yogurt. 1 to 3 of dairy or servings of dairy are recommended per day, and lucky for you, yogurt can be one of your servings.
Frozen yogurt is an excellent low-fat replacement for ice cream and is available in a variety of flavors. In honor of National Yogurt Day, Yogurtland will be having free 6-ounce cups of yogurt if you sign up for the rewards program. You can even do it online. Now that we have informed you of this tasty treat, let's tell you about our quote of the day.
Today's quote of the day is a motivational quote by Arthur Ashe. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Arthur Robert Ashe Jr. was an American world #1 professional tennis player who won 3 Grand Slam titles. Thanks for that inspiring quote. Also, let's talk about the inspiring information gathered by the St. Louis Archdiocese.
In the past 10 years, 11 counties of the St. Louis Archdiocese have claimed a 22% drop of Catholic students. Although this might sound worrying, don't get ahead of yourself. There has also been a 23% rise in non-Catholic students enrolling in Catholic schools. The National Catholic Education Association says non-Catholic students now make up about 13% of the total enrollment in St. Louis's Catholic schools. And we couldn't be happier about that. Let's celebrate the diversity it is not only in our school but around the world, because this month is Black History Month.
In honor of Black History Month, the broadcast team has decided to spotlight one inspiring Black figure each broadcast. Today's spotlight shines on Phyllis Wheatley. Phyllis Wheatley was the first African-American person to publish a book of poetry in the colonies. She's also the 3rd woman to publish a book in the colonies. As a young girl, she was kidnapped from West Africa and brought to Boston as a slave. She was purchased by the Wheatley family, who taught her to read and write. Wheatley published her book, Poems on Various Subjects, Religious and Moral, in the year 1773. Her poems gained recognition throughout the colonies, and George Washington, the future first president, and at the time requested to be in her presence in 1776. After the death of the Wheatley family, Phyllis became a freed woman and married a freed African-American man in 1778. After her first book of poetry, she was never again able to publish another book. She and her husband were forced to live in poverty, and Phyllis had to take a horrifying job as a boarding housemaid. She died at the early age of 31, a freed slave. Her poetry, bravery, and strength continue to inspire pioneering women and African Americans in all fields. Thank you to Phyllis Wheatley for being who you were despite of time American cruelty. We would also like to hear from you. Send a historical inspiring figure you want to be featured on UA Today. You can email us at uatoday@ursulinestl.org.
Another interesting and pioneering figure was Messiah Nakamura, known as the father of Pac-Man. He died this past month on January 22nd, 2017, at the age of 91. This man helped create Pac-Man, a wonderful arcade game that was released in 1980. Guinness World Records has called it the world's most successful hand-operated arcade game. The idea of Pac-Man was designed to look like a pizza with a slice taken out. Pac-Man has been estimated to have been played around 10 billion times. Although we do not know the cause of death, we will always remember this legend who helped bring Pac-Man to life and brought the joy to people of all ages. In other news, this has been an interesting day so far in our lives, but here are some of the fascinating facts about February 6th throughout history. In 1756, Aaron Burr was born. He would go on to become the third U.S. vice president, as well as being the man who shot Alexander Hamilton. In 1911, the first old folks' home was opened in Prescott, Arizona. In 1918, women in Britain got the right to vote if they were over 30, as well as having property rights. In 1935, Monopoly went on sale for the first time and has since started countless fights in homes across the world. On this day in 1968, Dwight D. Eisenhower shot a hole-in-one and made golf history. In 2004, Princess Louise of Belgium was born into a Belgian royalty family, and that has since been today in history. Now let's hear about last Friday.
2 Fridays ago, we celebrated the feast of St. Angela with a beautiful Mass and the grand opening of Hartnett Hall in honor of our very own Thelma Hartnett. That following Friday night, over 200 of Ursuline's family and friends came to be formally introduced to the new building. Refreshments such as wine and chocolates were offered to the visitors as they toured the building for the majority of the evening. Thelma was the star of the event, and her family joined in the celebration in support of Thelma. Thelma and Mary's Ursuline Family Legacy Night, Tuesday, February 7th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Junior College Kickoff Meeting, Wednesday, February 8th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Some more interesting things have happened in the world of politics. President Trump has signed 7 executive orders since taking the office. An executive order is a rule or order issued by the president to an executive branch of the government. It also has the force of law. However, an executive order can be overturned by the next president in office. Some of the most famous executive orders are the Emancipation Proclamation given by Abraham Lincoln, the New Deal Executive Order by Franklin Roosevelt. There is even an executive order by President Herbert Hoover regarding executive orders and what font, style, and size they should be typed in.
One of the most recent executive orders is in regard to immigration. The order is confusing to us and many professionals who are even having trouble understanding it. But the gist of it is that the order bans immigration from Iraq, Iran, Syria, Sudan, Somalia, and Yemen, and Libya for 90 days. This went into effect in the early morning of January 27th. The order also prevents issues of visas and other immigration benefits to people from countries that the White House has deemed of particular concern. It also states that the entry of refugees admitted into the United States in 2017 will be no higher than 50,000. Some people think this law is dangerously strict, while others are not finding it strict enough.
Also in recent news, Trump has named who his nomination will be for the Supreme Court. He has chosen Neil Gorsuch to fill in the spot of Antonin Scalia. Many are saying that Gorsuch is very similar in philosophy and court decisions of former Scalia. He is considered a conservative judge, as was Scalia. Many Trump voters are saying that Gorsuch is just what they wanted when they voted Trump into office.
Last but not least, the Patriots won the Super Bowl. After a surprising 25-point comeback from New England Patriots, they won 34-28. Whether you watched for the football, Lady Gaga, or the commercials, There was something for everybody. What was your favorite commercial, Chloe?
Mine was the Super Bowl babies. What was yours, Tallow?
I really liked the Cam Newton Buick one. Some of the other mentions are Mr. Clean, Anheuser-Busch, Audi, and the touchdown dances throughout history. That's all for today.
We'd like to say thank you to our team behind the scenes, Ava Apteyev on board, Campbell Kennedy as director and producer, and teleprompt, and Miss Lang. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of VOA Today. I'm Chloe Weaver.
And I'm Olivia Tallow.
Reminding you to make the most of your day.